as mothers, sometimes do not see the importance of the impact we have on our kids when we are entrepreneurs. And we're doing something. We're our own boss. We do our own things, and how proud they can be of us for this. This has been a big learning for me in being a mother and an entrepreneur.
What would you want them to take away from your journey and learn from you?
Having a strong vision, and don't lose your vision, even though people might tell you that's too difficult, or that will never work, or have you done the business case? Keep your vision. And the second thing is, and the third thing's then
how empowerment plays a role on that.
It's impossible to empower yourself if you don't know where you're going. You have to know what it is to get the best out of yourself.
So please grab a cup of coffee or tea, get comfortable, and enjoy this episode. Welcome to the Brilliantly Branded podcast.
Welcome to the Brilliantly Branded podcast. That this is the space where we talk about the human behind the brand, the moments, the values, and the emotions that shape the way that we create and we show up in the world. So today's episode feels very meaningful, very special. We are going to talk about a brand that doesn't just sell the product, but it questions the way that luxury have been defined for decades. This is a brand that have been built around the intention of honesty. That's the reason why I wanted to have this conversation here in the podcast. And it's very important to know that what is important for the planet when you create a brand, and what is important for the generations coming after us. So my guest today is the co-founder of Natural Nuance. And this is a circular luxury brand. Her work, it's really very challenging in the sense that she have been creating this mindset of the industry, inviting us to slow down and to choose better and create with respect. So I have to say that in this conversation, we will look at what it really takes to build this, something meaningful, and how circularity becomes a lifestyle rather than just a label, and what women can learn from her journey about doing things in their own way. So welcome to the Brilliantly Branded podcast. I would love to start by giving you the space to introduce yourself. And from there, I want to ask you which moment made you realize that you wanted to build this brand?
Well, thank you so much, Maria, for inviting me. I'm really thrilled to be here and to talk about my journey and my brand. So Natural Nuance was founded by me and my co-founder Lisa in 2017. We actually, at the time, were both working. So it's been a brand that's grown with us. And today I'm almost, I would say, 100% working on the brand. So it's been really beautiful to be able to dedicate my time to this project in this way. My name is Ase. I'm from Sweden originally. I'm half Norwegian, so that's my name. And what was the spark that made us create the brand? From my own personal perspective, I grew up in nature. When I was a child, nature was always there. It was a given somehow. And when I moved to Central Europe from Sweden, I spent time in very exciting big cities like Vienna, Milan, London. Now I'm in Zurich. And this element of nature has always been something that I carried within me. And I found after a while, I was working in innovation, I worked in tech companies, that it needed to have more space in my work. As a child, I was always at the drawing table, but it was always very secret. So from a personal perspective, the brand has really been something that's been inside of me already. And the real spark where we said, oh, let's go, was in Lisa's place. Even before 2017, she showed me something she had colored in the indigo vat, a piece of deer leather at the time. And it was also done with a shibori technique. It's a Japanese technique. And it was so beautiful that I said, we have to do something with this. And so this is how our first collection was born. Unique pieces, each piece different. And from there, we've been developing then into a more, little bit wider, let's say, direction, but always having circularity as our strategic guidance.
That is wonderful, to know what is the origin of the brand, where the brand was born, where the ideas was born. And to give a little bit of context of our listeners, I will love you to let us know what kind of product is behind the
Yes.
brand, no? Because of course people are going to be very curious based on the name, but what kind of products, and especially what make you really challenge the usual idea of luxury in the market across
Yes.
your products?
So we produce handbags for women and for men, but we focus on the female segment. And the bags are made with vegetable tanned leather. So what does that mean? It's
Yeah.
made with leather that's been made soft with the pods of the tara tree, for example, or mimosa. So it's all natural ingredients in how the leather is being made soft.
Mhm.
And the leather also has a complete are free of heavy metals. So it's actually a product that could also be used for baby shoes. So it's a very clean product.
Mhm. Okay.
And when we say circular and circularity in this space, this means that the cuts, how the bags are being made, we use very, very few things on the bags. So we have only 2 seams on the side of the big bags. It's so that we can easily recircle and repurpose material in the future. And we use a very small amount of, for example, additives or metals. So we try to keep it as clean as possible. And so the whole idea is more systemic. It means what goes in comes out, and you should be able to reuse it in future. So it requires a little bit of thinking ahead, what happens to
Yeah.
the product when it's end of life.
Yeah,
We won an
exactly.
award for this in 2024, so we're very
Mhm.
proud of. It's a Green Product Award for the circular concept, but also for, let's say, the materials that we're using. So
Yeah, I
yeah.
can imagine, and now that you are explaining this to us, how many things you need to keep in mind in order to make the things work and the purpose of your brand really get it to be recognized. Even the winning awards and these kind of things is very important in the sense that
Yeah.
this is the tip of the iceberg, but all the things that have been happening, especially the lessons that you are learning in the moment that you are shaping that. So as a founder of a brand, in which way you can share with us the lessons that you have been learning across that to balance the sustainability at the same time with the creativity and the
Yes.
reality of running a business, because there's many things that are happening
Yeah.
around.
Yes. When we started back in 2017, to some people, when we said it's a circular business model or circularity, some people would say, "Oh, so the products are all brown. That's cute." And we've come such a long way since 2017 in what we know about circularity, how we live it every day, and I'm really happy about that.
Yeah.
At the time, we actually questioned some of our customers just to try to understand, how important is sustainability and circularity for people when they make decisions on what to buy. So we made a survey in 2021, and what we discovered there was that if you say sustainability, people will think about a brand or a company, and they will say, yes, this is a sustainable company. It ticks a box. That's fine. But when you go deeper and you talk about materials, people don't want to know so much anymore. And I think that is also something that has changed since 2021. People ask more questions.
Yes.
Because we keep on saying, if you want to know what's in your food, you also want to know what's in your clothing and what you carry with you. So, yeah, these have been big learnings also for how we market the product.
Yeah.
For us. And for us as founders, we said from the start, we don't want to scare people. We don't want to sell by scaring. We want to create beautiful things that people like to wear, that are also practical. But there's a whole lot of information that people, if they knew it, certain things they would not buy anymore, that's for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that, and especially because now we have a consumer that are wanted to be more educated about what is happening, how they are impacting. So it's challenging because you need to really generate even a communication based on the educational part. So
Yes.
teaching to
Yeah.
people, I guess, as you well said, the circularity and people related that with the circular products. I mean, is quite like well, how the people are doing, where they are finding the information. So I guess part of all your communication strategy is based on teaching people how are you making the processes and where this is coming from. That is our curiosity to know how we are impacting. And part of our conversation when we met each other, it was about how important motherhood is for you in order to really think how can I put it a purpose and become a successful entrepreneur. So how really that influenced the way that you build your brand today?
Well, I think that my son is one of our strongest supporters. and
Excellent.
and um, and I think that we as mothers sometimes um, do not see the importance of the impact we have on our kids when we are entrepreneurs and we're doing something. We're our own boss. We do our own things, and how proud they can be of us for this. This has been a big learning for me in being a mother and an entrepreneur. I think when it comes to, what you produce, the purpose behind it, of course, having children means that you think a lot about, where will this product be when my son is, my age, or how will his world look like? But I
Right.
don't think that is only true for mothers. I think that there are lots of successful entrepreneurs out there that also think this way without being parents. But it definitely makes it very tangible to you. Like, what is the impact that I'm having for my son, for his
Yeah.
future? Yes. And when it comes to success is not just how much money do you make or what's your salary or what's the value of your company, but it's also this movement. It's how many people do you manage to get with you to understand your mission. And if your child understands your mission, that is very heartwarming. That is really because it's the next generation and they think differently about things than we did because they've been educated already in a different way.
A
Yes.
powerful message, and as
Mm.
well something that not everybody are having to their minds how we are doing things sometimes. And
Mm.
part of the things that you share with me that you are doing is included artisans as well
Uh-huh.
in the small workshops across Europe. So that is important. Actually, they have a strong message behind because they are producing things. And
Mm-hmm.
if you compare that with the industry part, then the artisans have a lot of value. And I'm curious what have been your learnings about patients, about how they are doing the things and how the way that they create give this meaning for them.
When you come from the tech industry, for example, that I came from, starting this, in that industry, it's all about scalability and it's a lot about speed. So, your speed to market is extremely important. However, when you deal with objects that people are holding in their hands, they're using every day afterwards, speed cannot be the only factor that we're talking about because in order to create products that really work, that are aesthetically appealing and also good for the planet, there's some thinking behind. And it takes artisans some time also to understand how exactly you want this to look like. It's really a process. So when you say slow fashion, that also comes into this, right? Because the process of making something with your hands really is different. I think that is not in contradiction to using technology to make your processes better as a company. We, for example, use blockchain certificates to ensure transparency of our products. So I think innovation can be, yes, you can create in a slow way, but you can still be very efficient in other areas of your company. So when it comes to the artisans, for me, it's been a very deep experience to see, first of all, yes, you need patience, but when the outcome is then good in the end, it's like the birth of a child. Yeah, it's every time we have a new color, a new product, and we're a small company still, so we cannot produce 5 new collections every year. It really is a big thing, and it's very rewarding. And I think it's rewarding for the artisans too, when they see it online and they see the progress of the brand.
Yeah, with in the fashion industry, what is happening today with the big amount of things producing at the same time, the artisans wanted to do their job and put it out in the market.
Yes.
I am wondering if that have been one of your biggest challenges today to face. Yeah.
So yes, when you start selling to the retail space, you are expected to have new things twice a year. And that is simply because how retail has been serving. It's a bit of a human thing, I think. It's a curiosity, but it's also this need to see something new. And so if you contrast that to classical luxury brands, like if you look at Hermes, for example, which have beautiful bags that they have been selling the same bag for many, many decades.
Yeah.
I think that the fashion industry has to come closer to quiet luxury in the sense of, do we really need something new so many times a year? And if we do, are there other ways that we can achieve this or satisfy, let's say, the need to see something new with the clients?
Yeah.
So we have selected a route where from the start, we said, we can't do this. We can play with colors. We can play with, we can play with how our bags can be used. It's multifunction, but we will not play this fast game of fashion. And we said that from the start, this is not what we do.
Yeah, this is how you are personally aligning your values, because at the end is a lot of things happening there that I think we at the same time are receiving a lot of information that at the end we don't know how to manage if we really are not connecting our values with what we want. So if we wanted to buy something new, I think I have not renovated my wardrobe, my closet, thinking how can I, sometimes you're wondering, well, I am wearing the same clothes, but at the end it's like, it's I really don't.
Yes.
So I'm happy that you are aligning that with your values, because having a brand outside that is producing something beautiful as well is helping to all the sustainability concept is very powerful.
No, I think also one of one of the things that are important to us is that living in a sustainable way doesn't have to mean that you don't buy something new or that you have things that you find beautiful. It's not a contrast. It's more about how long can you keep the things that you have bought, or could you actually give them further when you don't want to use them anymore? So it's more thinking ahead, and when you look at your wardrobe, of course, it's nice to buy something new from time to time. So I think sustainability is not served by us all becoming, if you're reducing everything. I think it's more, let's shift the focus to how long we keep the things, how often do we carry them. The cost of, every time you carry something could be a better measure than just the price when you look at your wardrobe. Yeah.
You are completely right. There is the only one thing that sometimes I want things to remain longer, and
Hmm.
after the first wash, that disappear. So that's part of the problems, is I wanted to make that stay for longer, but then it's like 2 times, and that is really something that is not worthy anymore.
Hmm.
So, there is a lot of things happening there. I'm not going to dig deeper on that because that's not the purpose. But just to start to wrap up this beautiful moment, and finally, for the women listening, because you was mentioning, being a mom and building a brand, building a business, and all these kind of
Hmm.
things at the same time, sometimes could be very, very challenging. So, what would you want them to take away from your journey and learn from you?
Well, I think having a strong vision is absolutely crucial. And don't lose your vision, even though people might tell you that's too difficult, or that will never work, or have you done the business case? Yes, keep your vision. And the second thing is have a personal strategy. I'm actually working with some women right now on a personal strategy for themselves. So it's not coaching, it is more this alignment with where do you want to go, and make sure that you have your objectives clear for you all of the time. And they can also involve all the things that you do um, when you're not working. And I think that's really, really important.
I love that about the personal strategy.
Hmm.
And how are you managing this? Because I am thinking the same way. I consider that we need to have a strategy for ourselves. But
Yes.
I am more in the sense how we are connected with ourselves inside to express
Mm,
outside what we are. But
mm.
what you mentioned is very interesting, because how are you managing that, or what are you helping people, or women especially, to build this personal strategy? What is this about?
So first of all, it's about goal setting. We sometimes have our goals swimming around. We kind of know what they are.
Yeah, true.
And the second thing is we need to be clear on how we want to reach our goals. So it sounds easy, but when you start getting into it,
Yeah,
um,
no, no.
and this is not about actions, this is more about your modus operandi. Like, how do you actually go about um, your things? And the third things, then you can set actions, but the actions they have to match. They have to match each other, and they have to match your modus operandi. Like, how do you do things? And they have to contribute to the goal. And so it sounds very easy when you say it like this, but I've had some really interesting discussions, and to use a metaphor, I would say it's a bit like sharpening your pen. We know that we have a pen, but when we start using it, really works the best if it's
Yeah,
sharpened.
yeah,
And
that's
we
right.
need, as women, we need to be clear on what we want. But it's not only that. It's like we also need to be clear on how we go about things. And that might be very different to
Yeah.
how men are doing it, or, yes, it's very important, I think, to be clear on that.
Yeah, is crucial. And
Mm,
actually, do you think that, for example, the way that you sharpened that pencil, I love the metaphor, it
mm.
is something like knowing how to use your own superpowers in order for you to potentialize that with the structure that you just explained, or how empowerment plays a role on that?
I think it's impossible to empower yourself if you don't know where you're going, you know? Yes. You
Yeah.
you need you need to know what do I want to achieve, and sometimes women don't set high goals enough. We are modest, and that's okay. I mean, if your goal is a modest one, it's fine, but you have to know what it is.
Correct.
To get the best out of yourself. So that's been my learning, but it's like nuanced. It's a very nuanced thing. I think everyone has got their own personal, way of doing things. It just has to be clear for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I love it, and it's very connected with your entire brand and with even your personal brand. Is how being mind about what is happening, how you can planning is reflected as well in how you do your business and how you show up and the way that you communicate with others and related and build these long-last relationships. That is, I think, part of the most important things in life. It has been an amazing conversation. Thank you for sharing your values in the brand that you are already head of. Thank you very much for being part of the Brilliantly Branded podcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
A pleasure.
I'm grateful by having you as a listener on this episode. I am in the mission of empowering thousands of women around the globe, and I need your support for that. Help me to spread the voice by sharing this episode and subscribe to our social media channels. And remember, if you want to listen to exceptional stories and have someone that inspires you, please get in touch with me, because I will love to have them as a guest to learn from their experience and share their story with you next time. So until the next episode, ciao, ciao.